Also, you can't remap the controls, and the controls are really wonky the way they mapped them.
For the record, because we are now recording, we're talking about the uh, Nintendo emulation stuff for the new online service.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
it don't look good. Um, it's it's disappointing because normally for like you get this for free along with the Animal Crossing DLC when you upgrade to
Free
the
is a
expansion pack.
relative term.
I say free, but when I say free, I mean by paying an additional
Yeah, yeah,
$30 on your Nintendo Online plan.
yeah. Let's speak practically. It's not free. The
Yeah.
extra $30 is literally just this shit. So that's not
Yes.
free. You are literally
It's
paying explicitly for this.
you're paying explicitly for this, for the Genesis games, for I mean the Animal Crossing DLC comes along with this, trying to make it more worth it, and I think normally that's like $24.
Hmm.
So I mean, and if you were gonna buy the Animal Crossing DLC, you can just buy this instead and get that, you know?
Hmm.
Um
But like
but
Genesis games are nothing. You can run that shit on a toaster. Like it's nothing.
yeah. The N64 games, though, is something that can be a real pain in the butt to try to emulate. So
Yeah, it's
naturally,
not fun.
you'd want something more official, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Assuming it would
the,
work better. Like, does it actually work better? And it's just the graphical foibles, or
it's run into performance issues in general with frame drops and stuff.
hmm.
So it no. Graphically, it looks worse. Performance wise, it's worse. You can't remap controls. The controls are mapped weirdly. Like, I think it was like the A and the B on the Joy-Con are A and B, but then X and Y are like two of
shoulders?
the random two of the random C sticks
Oh,
inputs, and it's just very awkward to try to use. And I don't know. I mean, Nintendo has always had the Virtual Console and had oh you can go get these N64 games on the Wii or the Wii U, right? And typically they tend to play pretty well. In some cases, better than N64. This is the case where that's not true and it's confusing. It feels like they really just tried to rush this out.
yeah. Well, that's kind of how Nintendo tends to treat this sort of stuff, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I guess this. I can't really say this is unexpected, given their track record.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I was just looking at a thing, Yoshi's Story, where they have the Yoshi singing. The audio is all messed up and warped and cutting out. It's just bad emulation. I've seen bad emulation. This is bad emulation.
Hmm. So
Kind
welcome
of
to the
expect
podcast.
more.
Yeah,
Kind of expect more, you know?
yeah. Well, you shouldn't. How many times has Nintendo done this? Let's be real. They keep doing this, releasing mostly substandard versions of their old games in this emulation setup. Like
Well,
the few times that they've actually tried to do it, like do an actual re-release minor update of a game, they've done it, and they've done it all right, from my understanding. Like Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker and all that stuff. Like they actually put in the work to make it work.
yeah, for the remakes and the HD upgrades, they always work fantastically and are better than the original.
But when they just try and say, hey, we're going to give you the original again on the modern console, it's always this cut rate emulation garbage that they just threw. I don't know the name of the N64 emulator off the top of my head, but just throw that on the Switch and just
But
have it run.
that's the thing. Historically, that's not actually the case. Normally, when they release old games, whether it be on the Virtual Console or on the Wii U, it tends to run well.
Does it? Like,
Yeah,
the old stuff, yes, but the stuff that's like N64 forward, not so much, from my understanding.
really? Because I remember I would play like Paper Mario and stuff, um, and that was emulated, and that ran pretty well, and that was I had fun with that.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe I'm just
so
misinformed. Like, the Switch is the first time I've actually given a shit about anything Nintendo's done, so a lot of my understanding of how Nintendo runs their shit is from osmosis when we're talking like anything before the Switch. Let's be real. Like, yeah, I mean, I was a Sega kid, and then PlayStation, and then you know Xbox, and then PC. So
yeah, but normally it is the case that um, it'll run decently. You know, sometimes it'll run fantastically, but it'll usually run at the very least like you can play the game and have fun, right? Um, the Switch
doesn't
is
sound like that's not the case here though. Like
he,
frame stutters and stuff. Yeah, sure, that kind of sucks, but still.
but like I posted the tweet from Stop Skeletons from Fighting, the one where they show the mid boss arena for Dark Link in the Water Temple, and that is one of the most iconic scenes in the game where you are fighting Dark Link and you can see the reflection in the water as you are fighting like another Link, and it's a super cool fight. And the effect and the emulation, like the entire arena and the fog that's supposed to give it that sort of that setting, it's just all screwed up. Like that's an entire experience that if that you're playing that for the first time, you're not going to have.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure why they would choose to do this when they just recently remade uh, Ocarina of Time. Well, relatively recently, um, and then just port that. Like it feels like they're shooting themselves in the foot a little bit just to give an upgraded online service a shot in the arm that it doesn't really deserve. Like the regular online system isn't great, from my understanding. Like online play is kind of shoddy, but it works and it's fine. And the upgraded version doesn't fix that, and instead gives people a bunch of stuff that they didn't especially ask for.
It When I first saw that they're going to add N64 games,
Like Paper
um,
Mario was the one that like I remember you talking about and being like,
yeah,
yeah, okay, Paper Mario.
yeah, I'll play Paper Mario again. That's one of my all-time favorite games. It's not currently out yet, so I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll pick that up. But then they announced the price, and it's like, okay, so it's $50, so it's more than twice as much as the normal online costs, and the online isn't actually better. You just get access to some poorly emulated games and an Animal Crossing DLC. Hope you like Animal Crossing. Just saying.
Even then, just buy the DLC and then never have to pay for the upgraded online ever again. Like, and it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, yeah. It's disappointing.
Hmm.
Uh, so, in terms of news, what else is going on? I just really had to talk about that particular thing because I saw that this morning and I was just upset.
Yeah. Oh well. I don't know much about anything that's happening anywhere at all in the world. I know I'm about to get my booster shot for
Oh,
COVID. That's on Saturday, I want to say, which is fun because there's a Stoke match on Saturday. So that's gonna be great.
nice.
Wonderful timing. Uh, so yeah, they've decided to make it way less convenient this time. Instead of having the shots administered in the health center that is about a 3 minute walk away from my flat, they have decided to put it about a 20 to 30 minute walk away from my flat, which is not ideal. And there's some not great roads that I have to traverse to get there. So that's not going to be fun. And it's in the university, which says to me that they're going to be administered by student nurses. So that's also going to be fun. So,
Is that well, good luck.
yay. Also, apparently, it's more likely to knock people for six because my stepdad's had his, which was apparently a nightmarish experience, um, given his circumstances. But yeah, they have decided that it's perfectly okay to mix and match the different brands, I guess.
Mm.
So it's entirely possible, nay, likely, that instead of getting the one that I was mostly okay with eventually, I will be getting a new one that might do me worse. So that's going to be great. Because my stepdad had AstraZeneca, which I think most people had in this country. And then he got the Pfizer one for the booster. And he did not take to it well. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, that's a thing I'm looking forward to. It's gonna be weird leaving the flat because I don't really do that very much anymore. Like, if
Touch
nothing
grass.
else, if nothing else, this whole thing for the past year and a half has done me so much damage in being even more of a fucking hikikomori. I'm so just not outside ever anymore. Oh.
Oh man, it's been like it's been storming over here a lot. So like the other day, it was just nonstop pouring down rain, and I mean like sideways rain, like 50-mile-per-hour winds. Like it was nuts in my area, and
Upside, the drought's over, I guess.
no, the drought's not over.
Oh, of course not. Why would it be over when there's like pouring rain?
The thing about droughts is when it just rains a lot on like a couple of days, it just overfills everything, and then we end up with a lot of water wasted. We need rain over a long period of time. That's not that much.
I assume you've
Um,
got like rain catchers and shit, just for convenience sake.
at my house, no.
You probably should
Um,
then.
we weren't expecting it to be this bad, and like it. You know, we have a pool in my backyard, and the pool began to flood.
Oh boy.
So we began to just take everything out of the backyard. We hooked up a hose to in the pool and ran it out to the to the front of the house, and just kind of we're like, well, I think it'll be fine. it ultimately was, but it got pretty scary as we just saw the water rising and rising and rising, and we're like, this is no good.
Mm.
But now it's all sunny and I can go outside again.
Yay.
Yay! So, aside from booster shot, anything else that going on?
So, in terms of games that I played,
Mm?
uh, Rogue Legacy 2 is really good. It's not
Oh, that came
finished.
out?
It's not finished. It's still in early
Oh,
access, but
early access.
it's
Okay.
really good so far. Like it's got one, two, three, four, five, at least 5 zones that I've technically reached so far. Uh, so it's pretty cool. And to be clear, that is me not even being very far in the game. Like I can basically run through one without much difficulty, unless like the characters I'm using have really terrible uh I'm trying to think of the word and I can't, like hereditary defects, which is the whole thing with the Rogue Legacy was a game where you go through a castle and it's a roguelike, so you get money and stuff and resources, and then when you die, you go back and you pick your heir, who will follow on and spend all the stuff that you got in the last run to do the next one, hopefully better. Until eventually
Yeah,
you do all the stuff and beat all the bosses and win.
yeah. I'm looking at it now. I didn't actually notice, like I didn't look at it before, but it has a really beautiful hand drawn art style.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's really pretty. So each of your characters have like the defects like before, and there's like a dozen or so classes of like different weapons and skill sets and stuff. And you've got, like I say, the hereditary, not always defects, but traits that some characters will have, like congenitive insensitivity to pain. So
Mm-hmm.
what that means is you can't see your health, and you can't see how much damage you're taking, and you can't see how much food is healing you. So
Ooh,
you have no context for how close to death you are at any point in the run.
I like that.
There is a pacifist one, which makes runs very hectic because you can't do damage. So you can't do damage. You can't actually. It would be a terrible idea to go into a boss fight with this character because that's it. Your run is over. You can't kill them, so bye. But the rest of the castle, it becomes this hectic mad dash where you're not allowed to kill and clear enemies from rooms, but it gives you a massive multiplier on how much money you can get. So you're just rushing through the room trying to get to treasure chests before anything can kill you. So you just clear the castle that way. You just go into a room. Okay, is there a chest here? No. Okay, break all the things. Run next room. Get out. It's just
This
a bit more.
generation is focused on bury me with my money.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool playing that way. That was one of the more fun runs that I had because it was as the chef class. Because like it's got all the basic ones like warrior and archer and mage and all that stuff, but then it gets a bit wacky with other stuff. So there is a chef class who wields a frying pan that can apply burn status, so they take damage over time, which is all cool. But if they're a pacifist, none of that matters. The one thing that does matter is every time you collect food, it adds to a stock of food abilities that you have, and you can get up to 3. And that means if you press the special button, which is the special skill that each character type has, every class has, they will stand where they are, start cooking, and then heal. So what it became, because this character happened to be a pacifist, it became okay. Rush through, try and get to the other side of the room and clear everything and get all the money. Get into the next room. Every single room in the castle cannot be depopulated of enemies, so nowhere is safe. So it's just trying desperately to find a hiding space so I can heal and then carry on.
Find a corner to build to like cook a pizza.
Yeah, it was fucking great. I loved it. It was great. Great
That
fun.
sounds great.
Mm.
Also looking at it, this game has one of my favorite things you can have in a game like this, which is when you do your sort of your down attack in the air, you can bounce off of attacks and things and
Mm.
enemies.
Yep.
That- it's a super fun thing to have. It's like I've been replaying Hollow Knight and just I've been having so much fun with that.
Yeah, like it is a Metroidvania roguelike. So
Hmm.
it is about like going through the castle, getting special abilities that let you traverse easier. Like
Mm,
I think the first one you get might be, yeah, the first one you get is an air dash. So you hit one of
good.
the trigger buttons and you can just do a quick zip sideways through the air. Some characters you can get with like I say, hereditary traits, so you can do that dash in any direction, which is pretty fun. Um, but yeah, that's the first one you get. There is one that lets you do um, bigger steps on, like
Hmm.
doing the down attack. It makes you bounce higher on certain objects, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, so while there's all the stuff of just building you up like through every life, there's also abilities that you can get that just stay with you through every run, and those are your big progress points of like, okay, I have this new ability that unlocks so much shit that I can now go and do.
Okay. It's a bit of a different type of progression than the original. Then.
A little bit, yeah. Like in the original, the only uh, limit to your progress was just you know stats and skill. Like it was entirely possible to go through the entire game in one run if you. I
If
wouldn't
you're a
recommend it.
madman.
I wouldn't recommend it, but it was entirely possible to do it. There was nothing that
Whereas,
explicitly blocked your progress.
yeah. Whereas
But
for this, you need to have your abilities and you need to be able to unlock things and progress into certain areas.
yeah, you need to get to a certain room. Like it's procedurally generated, so the room is always in a different place. But you have to get to a certain room to find a statue that will give you a challenge. And if you pass the challenge, then you get a new ability that just stays with your entire uh, dynasty, I guess.
Your entire family line.
Yeah,
This secret technique is passed down in your line for generations.
yeah, exactly. That is exactly what it is. Um, so yeah, once you get that, you can go to different areas and do different things, and does help with some of the treasure puzzles because that's a big thing with how
Hmm.
this game is. It does like challenges and stuff that give you money or equipment or runes that give you special abilities. Again, like you can get one that gives you an extra air dash, so you can do it twice, and so on. It just builds up and up and up from there until you are a god that will also still inevitably die eventually in this castle because it's fucked. But you know, you're more powerful corpse, and then the next one will be more powerful still, and that's how that works. It's really fun. I missed. I was considering playing the first one when I started playing this instead, because I very much enjoy the first game. It's really good, and this is pretty much exactly what I wanted. It's more of the same with a lot of interesting new facets to it. So that's really good. I'm very much enjoying it, and I've from what I can tell, I've barely even started. So that's cool. Yeah, good start to that. I hope it maintains.
Well, I might have to check that out. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Uh, in terms of Skinner boxes, I also played. There's fucking. So I saw a stupid video somewhere. I can't remember what server it was on Discord, but I saw a video that was like how the fandom talk about a certain game. That certain game was Cookie Run Kingdom.
Hmm. Hmm. Cookie Run Kingdom. I saw some VTubers play that.
So I think I love this game.
Okay, so you're playing Cookie Run Kingdom.
I am, yes.
I started it up and I gave it a try. I rolled the few rolls that I got. I didn't get anything good, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll go play another game instead.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I deleted it just because I don't know. There was nothing about the story or anything, or even the gameplay that really grabbed me. But tell me, what grabbed you?
What grabbed me was Cookies talking about like fucking shonen shit, and you've got Yuri Lowenthal as the big hero pacifist, but also doing the right thing with in battle with the Dark Enchantress Cookie, and they have a fucking beam struggle in the opening, and I'm like, oh my god, this might actually be cool in like a really stupid way, but it might actually be cool. Like it goes to some weird places, man. There's Dark Choco Cookie, and he's this big burly warrior dude with an enchanted sword that's cursed to turn him into a villain. And there's a werewolf Cookie, and he's a fucking werewolf, but also food. And oh boy. There's an entire thing with a tower for baking cookies that is like the birthplace of the gods of cookiedom, and it's been taken over by the forces of evil cake pastry monsters. And there's a dude who's a cookie that's got a cake arm grafted onto him because he's like a malformed freak. But he also has a pet cake hound that he calls Chiffon, and they have this tearful moment when he's about to die. He's like, "No, Chiffon, run! You've got to get to safety." And then there is the inevitable horror of like there is this order of like baking like church kind of thing, and a member of it is like going to this demonic cake tower that used to be the birthplace of all cookies, and she gets thrown into the oh fuck, what was it called? Some kind of super special dough, and inside this dough, as she's sinking into the abyss, she has this vision of the truth behind all cookies and how they got baked by the witches, not as like just benevolent creator beings, but to be eaten. The horror! Cookies aren't meant to be eaten. And this is her moment of becoming like the great villain of the whole thing or something, I think. Oh my god, it got... Oh boy. It is so dumb, and I love every second of it.
You've gone down the cookie rabbit hole.
There is a cookie rabbit also. That is also a thing. I forget what it's called, but it talks in uwu. Yep.
How much money have you spent?
Don't ask me that question. Okay, there is one thing I will say about this game that is fucking awful, and that is how it fucking hammers your brain meats for spending money. It is awful. It has packs for everything. When anything happens, hey, do you want to make this thing go faster by spending a bunch of money? And it will do this constantly, over and over and over again. It's awful. Yeah, so that is the one big drawback.
I see. So, I guess you're also playing Cookie Clicker now.
No, that's just Slicer. That's Slicer's thing. I don't think that's the same people, to be honest with you. I think that's just.
I'm making a joke because you're clicking on the cookies. Yeah, no, I can get it that it's stupid funny in that way, but I'm already playing a couple of gotchas that I have like as my regular things, you know, and there's no room for Cookie Run Kingdom. It's a weird name, and that's because originally it was just Cookie Run, which was an auto runner.
Yeah, that was the
And
thing,
they made
yeah.
Cookie Run Kingdom,
Which is a kingdom builder. Which, you know, gotta build up my cookie houses, dude. That's not even a joke. I've really got to build up my cookie houses. That's how you get experience with characters. It is pretty much the only way, and it is annoying, is what it is. But you know.
the story better end with you actually learning how to make some really, really good cookies.
No. Never.
Turn it into a life skill. Come on.
Like, they constantly talk in baking jargon, because of course they do, and it just goes right over my head.
That's why you have to do your own independent research.
No, I don't.
Anyway, anything else you played or did or whatever?
Not especially. Fate's Fate, but I barely have to play that anymore because you know it's basically why I ended up like even considering looking at Cookie Run, was because you know Fate takes almost no maintenance on my part at this point.
It's now that I got Space-ish Char as powerful as she is, she just kind of clears everything. There's literally nothing that can stop her. It's ridiculous. I understand what you guys were talking about with Dantes.
Yeah, he's less that well. It depends, I think. I don't know, but yeah, he doesn't have great damage output unless he's super high NP level. So
yeah, Spishtar does.
Yeah,
she has fantastic damage output, and it's kind of insane. I look at this and like, are you sure this is a neutral damage game? This shouldn't be neutral damage. Yeah, Space-ish Char is very, very good. And so I
wait
don't
for
have to play
Castoria, and then I'm set for most of the rest of the game until it
Yeah,
gets to the
basically.
boss fights, when I just use command spells and win anyway. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, the event story has been really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We Star Wars send up mostly. Yeah.
Good characters, good, pretty well written event. That's one of my favorite events. I think that I've actually played in this game. Is just all time one of my favorite events.
Jane didn't get to do much, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
her big twist was basically Hi, I'm a twist. Okay, moving on. Like,
Mm.
okay, fine, fair enough. It was a waste of a dramatic moment, but alright. Just had this whole thing in a backstory and just kind of moved past it or whatever. Fine. Uh, yeah. Kind of. Mm. Mild spoilers for the gag universe of Fate, I guess, but it kind of sucks that Alter is dead. Ex Alter.
Yeah, in her interlude, she did the thing where she had to fight against X, the fight to see who would sacrifice themselves, and she won and saved X at the cost of her own life.
Yeah.
That being said, there is the JP event, which is Grail Live, which features a welfare X altar, and um, that apparently is part of the ongoing Servant verse, I guess, storyline. So I guess she just gets revived or rebuilt or something. She has a weird like bonus against mechanical enemies, so I'm thinking that she's like part robot or something.
She's a rock star.
Yeah.
With an X,
So
because of course, Rockstar, Roxtar.
yes, I like that. Uh, is that it for you then?
Yeah, kinda. I don't. Oh, fuck. Oh. I might
Oh,
have voluntarily forgotten this part until now, until you pushed for more. Fucking PayPal, man. PayPal
mm-hmm.
are fun, 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 fun. So, my PayPal business account, which is for like writing commissions and Patreon stuff, that where all my money goes, so it's all in one place. Um, that has been limited for a long time, like most of a year, because they wanted identification. There was facial ID, and I only had one facial ID, which is a proof of age card. So I sent that to them. Cool. They didn't lift the limitation on my account, but then they also kind of did, to the point where the only limitation was I can't close the account. Like, okay, I can withdraw money from it, but I can't close it. Fine, I don't really intend to, so I'll take it. That's fine. It's problem sorted. And then they put a new one on my account like 3 months ago. And the system was broken. Because every time I tried to resolve it and like give them whatever they wanted to remove the limitation, it would just auto-complete without asking me for anything. And tell me to wait 2 to 4 days for it to be sorted. I did this like 5 times.
You gotta get somebody on the phone, like a real person.
So, because it's notoriously difficult to find like ways to contact PayPal, I got sent through their, hey, here's some helpful information on how to do the thing that you already know how to do, that doesn't actually help solve the problem of the system being broken. So they sent me through that, and then I managed to find their online messaging service, to which I send them a message explaining the problem, all the issues, how the limitation on my account won't be removed despite constantly trying, how the system doesn't let me actually send them any information that they supposedly want. And I get a response a few hours later that is basically, hey, we have received your message and we hope it's going to be resolved, whatever this problem is. And in my experience, if you don't actually respond to any of their messages, then they just assume everything is resolved and close the case. Which is less than ideal. That's not really how that's supposed to work. But, yeah, so I sent a message, okay. Wait, so are you actually going to look into this and sort it out, or are you just fobbing me off? Because I can't tell with how you've worded this message. Uh, they eventually reply to that with a form message, which was basically, here is how to remove a limitation on your account. With all of the basic information that I had already read through in their stupid help information center thing bollocks. So they did not help me in the slightest, and then sent me more messages responding to all of my other messages that I sent them because they were being less than clear, let's call it, to be diplomatic. So I get more and more frustrated by this constant, what is effectively a runaround from this, what appears to be now an automated message service, because I'm not actually getting any real answers. So I do some Googling and eventually manage to find a phone number for the UK. So give them a ring, and in like a 5-minute conversation, they managed to figure out what the problem is.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes. That's why my parents always say, just call them.
Yep. So the problem was that the proof of ID that I gave them, they don't accept proof of age cards. So they were like, okay, do you have anything else, like a driver's license or a passport? I can't get a driver's license without committing fraud, and I don't have a passport, and would have a really fucking hard time getting a fucking passport at this point. Because you need to have like people that you talk to in person who know you personally, and I fucking don't. So, family don't count. And apparently neither do doctors nowadays for some reason, which was, kind of unfortunate, because it's pretty much the only person that I speak to other than my family. So that's great. I assume people that you know online also don't count, by the way, which, sorry, Zero. You could have vouched for me, but oh well.
I would vouch and say you're not a terrorist.
I feel like that's more your country's stipulation than ours, but, whatever.
No, for my country, I don't even need to have somebody vouch for me. I just go fill out a form and I can get one. Pay a fee.
Yeah, we have to go jump through hoops and shit to get one. Anyway, so like, okay, let me ask my supervisor or the fucking account team or whatever, and they come back and say, okay, if you send us a copy of a bank statement and your birth certificate, then we can go with that. And if you get it to us by the end of the working day, we can resolve this today. I'm like, okay. End of the working day is 4 hours from now. Where the fuck is my birth certificate? Fun fact. Based on previous attempts to need a birth certificate, I actually have 3 somewhere in my flat. Because, that's how it goes with important documents. You fucking lose them. Always. So, I've cleaned my flat. is the upside of this story. There is less trash in my flat now because I had to search so fucking hard to find my birth certificate. And in the process of finding my birth certificate, I realize I have no idea where the fuck it is. Shit, I'm gonna order a new one because I'm a moron, and the fee I've got to pay is just my fucking stupid tax. That's how it works. So, okay, order a new birth certificate. It's still about an hour before PayPal closes for the day. There's no harm in looking more, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And the second I start looking again, I see a yellow envelope on top of my drawers for clothing. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And funnily enough, it is an application, which ironically is the reason that I needed a birth certificate the last time. And guess what's in it?
Your birth certificate.
Yep. Yeah. And unfortunately enough, the story doesn't quite end there because I go into PayPal. Okay, I have to scan the birth certificate. Okay, that goes in. Online banking, so I can just download a bank statement. All right, done. Got it. Files there. Got it. It's all good. Right. Okay. Onto PayPal. Go on to Resolve because they said they're going to fix the system that is absolutely broken. They have confirmed. They're going to fix it so I can sort this all out today. I click on Resolve, and it's broken still. So we're like 25 minutes before PayPal close. I have to call them again and say, okay, this shit's broken. Help. And the guy on the other end was very polite and helpful. Like, oh my god. I'm going to be perfectly honest. For as shit as the messaging system is, the people on the other end of the phone at PayPal are actually really fucking helpful. Like, they are really good people, like, doing a really good job with customer service when the shit's broken. So, yay for that, I guess. It's not often you get to say, hey, customer service people do a really great job and nothing gets confusing or difficult with dealing with the wrong team or anything like that. They just say, okay, I'll help. Cool. So yeah, this is basically the end of the story with, like, yeah, super helpful guy, like, right at the end of the day at the worst possible time when everyone's just thinking of going home, and he still helps me right the way through, get the documents sent, and a limitation finally taken off my account, so the £1,200 that sit in that account is no longer being held hostage.
That's a journey. That's I
That was
hesitate to call it an adventure, but it is an adventure.
that was a stressful fucking day. It didn't really need to be like, oh no, what's gonna happen if I don't get it sorted on that day? Is, oh no, I'm gonna have to ring them again tomorrow. Like, but in the moment, it felt like the most important thing in the fucking universe, which was good because that means it bypasses my ADD, so I actually get shit done. But you know, still, yeah. Finally got all that sorted. My flat is a little bit cleaner, not completely, because as soon as I found my birth certificate, I didn't care anymore. But still, it's something. And I also now have an extra copy of my birth certificate because you can't cancel those orders once they've gone through. So
Hey,
my
you know what?
stupid tax is still in effect. I'm just gonna give that extra copy to my mum. So when I lose this original again, I can just go to her and get one.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Hi, Slicer.
Hi, Slicer.
Hello. You are very lucky. PayPal customer support has been nothing but absolutely atrocious and unhelpful for me. So.
Really? Oh, it's sad.
Oh yeah. I have never once gotten exactly what I needed out of PayPal. Their customer support is absolute garbage.
Oh. Okay, rephrase. British customer support for PayPal is good.
The UK branch.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. No. I'm sure they have different people for that. So that works.
Presumably, yeah. I mean, yeah, that they would have to, because, you know, it would have to be presumably, like, it would have to be within the borders for it to be like a free-ish phone line, like, not spending ridiculous numbers of money. Ridiculous amounts of money.
Yes. Ridiculous numbers of money.
Yeah, ridiculous numbers of money. Yeah, on phone bills and shit. So, I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all sorted. So I'm happy now, and I don't have to think like, okay, what if PayPal just closed my account and I lose all the money I'm earning on this commission? Like, yeah, it's again, really stupid thing to think, but it happens. Hi, Slicer.
Hello.
Did you know that in the Nintendo emulation shit is shit?
Yeah. I mean, it can be.
It's pretty shit, apparently.
The Switch N64 emulation is bad.
Yeah.
The one that they're making you pay $30 additional for the
Great.
upgrade to
Great.
the it's not good. But hey, on the bright side, I just saw this. I gotta post this in the chat. Hisuian Zorua and Hisuian Zoroark from Pokemon Legends Arceus. Look at them.
That's
Oh,
pretty
it's a
cool.
little dude. That's a little dude. And then it got emo hair.
Yeah. Because it has the same thing that Zoroark does, in that it can mimic members of your team. Which is my favorite part of Zoroark, where it's just like, you thought that was a Charizard? LMAO? No, it was Zoroark in disguise. Except this one is a ghost type, which means you could totally bait out some moves that would be very ineffective because, ghost type.
Yeah, so you just have like normal mons in your team so that it looks like one of those. And, yeah.
And then it comes out, and then you can punk them real good.
Yeah.
I don't think I mentioned this last time. Did I mention I saw this a while ago? It's been a while since we had a podcast. So, did I ever mention the James Bond movie? I think I did.
No,
the new James Bond. Okay,
I don't think so.
So I talked about it to a few other people, so I wasn't sure. So I saw the new James Bond movie a while ago. The last one for that actor.
Duckface?
Daniel Craig, yeah. And yeah, it's called No Time to Die. And I think that is one of my least favorite James Bond movies.
Not good.
My entire family walked out of that movie confused.
Is it in some way a sequel to A Time to Kill? I'm not even sure I'm joking. It absolutely sounds like it would be.
No.
Actually checking. Hearing the keyboard tippity taps.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Maybe?
So, the storyline involves Daniel Craig's James Bond and his girlfriend. Never actually wife, she's just girlfriend from the previous movies. And they get attacked by Spectre. Or like he goes to visit a grave that she's like, oh, go visit the grave of this one character, and he goes, and then the grave explodes. And Spectre attacks, and they're like, you don't know her, that she's a daughter of Spectre, talking about his girlfriend, and then he immediately dumps her on a train, and well, there goes that romance story.
I mean, it's fucking James Bond. Like, they're kind of famous for that.
Yeah, she was either going to die or she was going to break up with him or get revealed to be an assassin. So
probably the assassin thing. That's usually how it goes.
Well, but she's not, though.
Or just magically disappear between movies.
No. That they've been building her up to be like the one for him, you know?
That's really dumb. That's not how that works.
Yeah, well, that's how they've been doing this James Bond, right? So he abandons her in a heartbeat without even listening to what she has to say. And because he's James Bond. Yeah. And then he gets pulled back into being a spy because he had retired, and there's like a new 007 and all of Spectre gets like wiped out by this gas that was meant to kill him, but they had a scientist who then programmed it to all kill them, and it turns out that this gas is able to target the specific genes or like DNA sequences that are uploaded into it. Right? So you can upload a person's DNA sequence into it, and then this gas will only kill that one person, even if you unleash it in a crowd. Because the gas is nanomachines. It's nanomachines. And they're programmed to murder. And if you are infected with the nanomachines, with the DNA sequence meant to kill a person, if you touch that person while infected with the nanomachines, they just die.
Can I just say, I wish I knew the lyrics to Words That Kill from Metal Gear Solid 5. I know that's not actually the one that's about nanomachines, but it's the one that I know and the one that's basically a Bond theme. So basically we've gone full circle. Metal Gear Solid was trying to be James Bond, and now James Bond is doing Metal Gear Solid. Cool. Nanomachines, son.
Yes.
They harden in response to physical trauma.
I think throughout the entirety of the movie, James Bond uses one gadget once to kill one guy.
Doesn't he spin around in his car for a while?
He spins around in his car, yeah, and shoots people, but that happens one time, and then that car's just gone. After that, like, one chase sequence.
Was it an Aston Martin?
I don't know cars.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't care. That's fair enough. I don't especially care either, but usually it's Aston Martin.
Do you think they have a contract with the James Bond producers?
I don't actually know.
Anyway, James Bond ends up meeting with the girl again, and then he finds out that she has a daughter, which she says is not his, but it's actually his. Haha, see? She's just mad and saying that it's not his, but it's actually his daughter.
Yeah, that's not a thing you can just pass off as, I'm mad, so I lied about you having a child. That's not the...
But he knows it's his. And the villain's motivations are they don't make any sense. The villain has access to this powerful bio nanomachine weapon, and he's like, "I'll do your job for you, James Bond. I'm gonna wipe out all the evil from the world." And then he also says in the same sentence, "And I'm going to become a god." And then also there's like one of the scientists working underneath him who says to the black character, "I could wipe out your entire race." So, I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a confusing movie. And do you guys care about spoilers?
I don't.
But you know.
It's been out for like more than 3 weeks. It came out October 8th.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this is the final James Bond movie for this actor, Daniel Craig. And so when Daniel Craig goes to infiltrate the evil island of the bad guy, right? And he goes and manages to confront the bad guy who has his daughter captive, and he taunts James Bond, and James Bond goes to shoot him, and then literally a panel in the floor opens up underneath the bad guy, and he just descends down an elevator with the daughter. Just real Looney Tunes stuff. And then he just kind of lets the daughter go. The girl's like wants to go back to get her doll, and he's like, "Are you sure you don't want my protection?" And she's just like, "I don't want." She's like, "Let me go," and he's like, "Okay, fine." So he just lets his hostage go. Because they have to leave the island because oh gosh, I just remembered the stupidest part. Okay. So the island is in kind of contested territory with I think it was like Russia and one other country. And the island had all these nanomachines. And so they were like, let's shoot missiles at the island and blow it up and get rid of this once and for all. And then they're like, this could start a war between multiple countries. And then M is just like, do it. James Bond is like, I don't care, do it. And M's like, okay, do it. We're going to fire missiles on this island right next to these countries. We'll sort it out. So they fire the missiles, and James Bond is like trying to open the hatches so the missiles can go into the inside of the base and destroy it all, and ends up having one last confrontation with the main bad guy who stabs him, like, no, he shoots him twice, and then he infects him with the nanomachines that have the DNA target of his wife and daughter, or his girlfriend and daughter. So if he touches his girlfriend or daughter, they will die. And there's no way to get rid of this. He's now infected with the nanomachines. So James Bond opens up the hatches and goes up and sees the missiles on their way and just sits there, has a final phone call with his girlfriend, and then just gets missiled. And then he dies.
Wow.
And then all the spies have a moment where they just have a drink in honor of him. And then the girlfriend rides off into the sunset with the daughter.
Sure, okay. I've heard worse James Bond plots.
So the bad guy was obsessed with the girlfriend because her father was an assassin and he killed his whole family. And so the main bad guy went and killed the girlfriend's mother, but let her live. And so now he has this like weird obsession over controlling her and stuff.
That's kind of dumb.
And we're not even going to address the fact that a potential world war could have been started from these missiles that were fired. No.
They just don't follow up on that? That feels like that would be kind of important.
No, they don't follow up on that, no.
Okay.
It's a disappointing ending to that James Bond. And there are, I don't think all of his movies are great, but I think there were a few that were. You know?
How many were there? I don't actually know.
There are 5. This is the 5th one.
Huh. It was I could name 3 now.
Well,
was Spectre the name of one?
It was Spectre,
Casino Royale,
Skyfall,
Skyfall, yeah,
Quantum of Solace,
yeah, okay.
And then this one, which yeah, nobody remembers Quantum of Solace.
I remember there was a video game.
Yeah.
And it had the most funny efforts from Daniel Craig ever.
I personally really like Skyfall. I think that's one of my favorites. But yeah, yeah, as far as an epic conclusion to this dude's career as James Bond, it's kind of just a mediocre spy movie, and that's kind of disappointing because it's his last one. Um, aside
It
from
does
that,
kind of suck when he goes out with not
with
even a good bang, just a bleh.
a whimper.
Yeah.
Because normally, if James Bond is shot twice non-fatally, he can still escape from any situation, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
But he just kind of chooses to not escape. And
Yeah, that's really stupid.
this is the first time that they've killed a James Bond. Like, even when the past James Bond actors had their last movie, they didn't just kill off the actor.
Yeah, they just fucking moved on and said, hey, this guy's James Bond now. Same
Yeah.
guy, more or less.
So,
Don't think about it too hard.
Don't
Did
think.
they show him dying, or did they cut away off screen? So like there's
They
some
showed
end-
him dying very explicitly. He's like watching the missiles as they explode, and he's just washed in white light.
Oh, very specifically dead then. So there's no chance of a secret tunnel.
No.
Yep. I was gonna say, you know what they're gonna do now? They're gonna reboot it and just say all that other stuff blah, and new stuff for James Bond, or a James Bond-esque character that will basically be a replacement. I'm kind of sort of dreading let's say Jamie Bond kind of thing. But yeah, it kind of sounds like they're just going for a reboot, which is weird because Casino Royale was a remake of the original Casino Royale, which was also James Bond. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I just don't think James Bond is a character that can exist these days.
Yeah, the idea of the classic spy archetype is kind of a thing that doesn't exist anymore. It's kind of a throwback. Like, I feel like if they did want to reboot it, it would be best to reboot it as a period piece. Be like, okay, this
Yeah,
50s, 60s kind of thing.
I actually think that's a great idea, and you can be a bit more creative with the gadgets that way because of the limitations of technology.
Yeah. You could even do a thing like, hey, this is a gadget that is almost like the thing that we have nowadays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's in the shape of a pen.
Yeah. And it makes no sense, but it's here and now, and we can do this. Like fucking iDroid from Metal Gear Solid.
Yep. Gosh, his one gadget is like a short range, like, I think it's like an electric pulse or like an EMP or something. And he uses it to make one guy's robot eye just kind of explode in his head, and then that's it.
Oh god, that's horrifying.
It is horrifying, and also not how EMP works, but alright. It's fucking gadgetry shit. It's fine. That's James Bond for you.
I'm down for it.
Yeah.
It's the only gadget he uses in his last mission.
And uses it for brutal murder?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, James Bond has never shied away from killing people,
yeah,
but
he
goddamn,
literally has a license to kill. It's kind of one of the name of the films.
I also saw the movie Dune.
Spice must flow. That is the quote that I know from that movie and books that I don't know anything about.
I read the book when I was a young lad, and apparently they are splitting this up into 2 movies. This movie has budget. Dune has budget.
That sounds like a very measured praise.
No, it looks amazing. And I do like the movie, but it is extremely like it's 2.5 hours long and it's slow to start.
Yep, that is the thing I've heard about Dune. Yes.
In terms of, as a movie, it can be a bit confusing. Now, Dune originally is a bit confusing,
Yeah.
but for the average movie enjoyer, for people like my mom, for example, the cutting between like visions of the future and then the present and then the past and then a lot of the slow going and a lot of the just name dropping and terms and stuff just wash over a person.
Yeah, I am given to understand it's kind of dense and a little meandering, maybe.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think part of that was the issue. The other is the soundtrack always has the people going like, it's always the high vocals
A
and
lot of choirs.
yeah, it's a bit too much. It's like in every scene.
Mm.
I just want normal music. You don't have to constantly do that. It comes off as pretentious, I guess. Just ears blasted with vocals at every moment, everything feeling like it's the biggest climactic moment.
So I've got a bit of a story about Dune. Actually, this is not the first time they've tried to bring it to the big screen.
That's true.
And so apparently, this movie was damn near impossible to get tickets for when it first came out because it came out in the 70s, the first version of it or whatever.
Yep.
So movie theaters were fairly new, and the internet was not a thing. And so the big deal was getting tickets for this movie. But my mom doesn't remember anyone talking about the movie. They would always talk about the difficulty of getting tickets and how big of a deal it was that they got them, and then no one would talk about the movie. So,
According to
a big deal being made of the production and the background elements of the movie is not actually a new thing.
According to the Wikipedia page, it was a box office bomb. Was negatively reviewed by critics, and even David Lynch, who directed and did the screenplay, disowned the film, stating the pressure from both producers and financiers restrained his artistic control and denied him final cut privilege. It was just a mess.
I mean, yeah, David Lynch not being given full control is absolutely a thing that sounds like would piss him off. Yes.
Yes.
That's it just sounds like you don't trust your director that you hired.
Not trusting David Lynch is also a thing I can understand. Guy makes some weird shit. Or made.
That's
I don't know
fair.
whether he's still working. I don't think so, but I'll look.
I think that Dune is a good movie. I also think that Dune is really hard to watch in one sitting. I literally I was like an hour in and it was like late. It was getting a bit late and I looked at my family. We're like, let's pick this up tomorrow.
Zero, can I
Yeah.
put you on hold for a second just so that we can talk about what David Lynch is doing nowadays?
What's he doing?
2020s weather reports and short films. Lynch did weather reports on his now-defunct website in the early 2000s. He has returned to doing weather reports from his apartment in Los Angeles, along with 2 new series, What is David Lynch Working on Today?, which details him making collages, and Today's Number Is, where each day he picks a random number from a jar. That's
Wow.
the end of the sentence.
You know what? You do you. You finish Twin Peaks. Just go have fun.
You weird fucking man, I love you.
And if someone is willing to pay you and watch this content, I mean, you're living the dream at that point.
Yeah, that's great. 23. You gotta believe it. Somebody picked 23 and the internet freaked out. Or that makes it obvious that he never picked 23. Because the internet would have freaked out. Anyway. What were you saying, Zero?
Dune is a good movie. Just the second half is significantly more exciting than the first half. So if you're feeling tired from the first half, take a break. Go watch it later.
Remember intermissions?
This movie needs needs an intermission.
I'm going to be honest. That was a really stupid question to ask people in their 20s when I have been to exactly one theater showing that had an intermission, and it was like in this ancient cinema that was built in like the 1910s or something silly in Germany.
Germany.
Yeah, I think it might have been the first film theater in Germany.
Well, aside from Dune, I didn't get to mention this last time, but I did complete Metroid Dread. That game is phenomenal.
I've heard good things.
It is. I've heard a lot of people call it say it is the best 2D Metroid game, and I would agree with them. It is fantastic. The whole premise being that you are going to Samus is going to investigate this planet because there is one of these X parasites on it, and they were supposed to be wiped out because an X parasite is capable of basically bringing galactic destruction, because these things are they can mimic and imitate people, and they can fuse into they can reanimate corpses and take over them and inherit the corpse's memories, and they spread quickly. So Samus, being somebody who has Metroid DNA in her, is immune to the X parasite because the Metroids were originally made to fight the X parasite, and there's no more Metroids because you wiped them out in Metroid 2.
Whoops.
All in all, the game's about like 9 hours. Like, I beat it in 9 hours. Though if you know what you're doing, people can beat this in like a few hours. Like one sitting, you can just crunch it out and beat it.
Yeah, that's usually the case for Metroidvanias. They're not especially long experiences most of the time.
And the game wants you to go fast. There's a lot of sequence breaks in this game that you can only find more once you kind of understand what these sequence breaks mean. Like, oh yeah, this sequence break will allow me to get to this area at this time and get the gravity suit earlier. Or this sequence break will allow me to get the morph bomb earlier. Yep. Because I have the morph bomb earlier, then I can skip this entire boss fight.
You're making me mildly nostalgic for Shadow Complex, which, granted, is a rip-off of Metroid, but still. That was my first experience with this sort of thing.
Literally in one of the fights, if you have the morph bomb before you should, there's a spot in the fight you can morph bomb that opens up a little passageway that you go into as a morph ball, and you do the bomb, and it fires you as a morph ball into the boss, where you can deal a ton of damage and get an instant kill on them.
Damn. I appreciate a direct reward for early exploration.
Also, when you are running very, very fast with the speed booster, you can store that speed by pushing down, and that becomes a shine spark. With another boss in the game, if you it creates this wind gust to push you back, which allows you to have enough room to build up speed for a shine spark. And if you are able to successfully hit the boss with a shine spark, it will instantly kill them. There are speedrunner instant kills in this game that are like built in, and it's great.
And the speedrunner community is going to ignore all of them because they're going to find a wall hack that lets them skip to the end of the game.
Not quite. It's gonna be more fun. I think a glitchless run would be very fun in this game.
Yeah, I mean, to my preference, glitchless runs are usually more fun in general. But yes.
And all the new powers that they added in, one of them is like a phase shift, which is like, it is literally a dodge. It's a dash, basically, that can be done in the air multiple times. You can do it like 3 times, but you can do it left to right, left. Gives you a lot of free movement. And so later bosses are built with that ability in mind. And so it's a really good, really cinematic experience with those bosses, because you have the phase shifting, and then they attack with certain attacks, and then you can parry those, and then the camera angle changes, and you go into this sort of cutscene where you're jumping on the boss, and you can freely just spam the missile button and just keep firing missiles into their face during the whole cutscene to get a ton of extra damage. Oh, it's fantastic. Go play Metroid Dread. I watched the first season of Mushoku Tensei as well with my friend Don.
You gotta remind me which one that one is.
Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. It is the one with a guy who ends up reincarnating ends up as a baby in the fantasy world, and he is Rudius Grey Rat. This is like the big. It's finally getting an anime, but originally this was one of the big starting points for the isekai genre exploding like it did.
Oh.
And with good reason. It's a well-told story. The world is beautiful, and the main premise is about this person growing and maturing as a person rather than just a power fantasy, you know?
Yeah, Rudius is kind of a piece of shit. So it's good to see him grow as a better person.
Yeah, he's awful. But as he goes through all these different experiences and meets all these new people and is given a chance at life that he was denied in his past life, you can see the growth. And so it's a very character-focused story. And I really appreciate that.
Have you read the manga as well?
I did not read the manga, but I did read the original novel.
Ah, that's fair.
To nearly the end. The translations had stopped before I could get to the very end. But I know what the ending is. And yeah, highly recommend it. The production values on it are great. The dub is amazing. Because Rudius will be like all kid voiced when he's talking. The thoughts are spoken by, a full grown man. And the way that he talks, it gives me vibes of like a Christmas Story. And I actually really like that. he's very funny, the narrator. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely recommend the dub for that. Uh, you guys watch Squid Game at all?
Yeah, I just finished it actually.
Hmm. I finished it too, and I've been rewatching it with a friend. What do you think?
That was good. I didn't realize the dub was terrible until
Oh
yeah, I just didn't know what to
no!
think about it.
Don't watch the dub. No.
Too late. I already watched the whole series dubbed. By the time I realized, oh, other languages are probably better, I was on like episode the second to last. So too late.
Well, I don't even know what that experience is like. I watched it in the original Korean with the subtitles.
I'm used to Netflix things in other languages being poorly dubbed, so it's fine. It didn't really take away from the experience. I didn't expect it to be well dubbed, so
Uh,
maybe that's just a personal thing, but yeah.
yeah, no, I think that the author or the director, the guy behind it, the creator, apparently had this idea kicking around in his head for like 10 years before it finally came to fruition. And
About 10 years, huh? Around about the time Hunger Games was big. Hmm.
anyway,
Just saying. Just saying. Like, come on, dude. Like, that's. Hmm.
Now you're
I
not
mean,
wrong.
there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration, though.
There's not. Absolutely not. But it's like saying, oh, I had this idea that is so novel and just kind of sat on it, though. I didn't really want to do it until, inspiration struck. If I, you know.
No, it's not that inspiration just struck. It's that somebody actually gave him a chance to make it.
Uh,
And when the economy started to go bad, Netflix was like, "Okay, yeah, no, this seems like it might have merit." Um, yeah, uh, death game. Poor people get money. People die.
Kaiji.
It's it's great. It's there's a lot of very human elements to the story and the storytelling, and it deserves the hype, I guess.
I will
One of
have
my
to watch
favorite.
it. I will have to watch it at some point because I did say Kaiji as a joke, but also I really fucking like Kaiji, and I would like to watch another show that is very like Kaiji. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a concept that's already been done. That is an obvious thing I will say because I write fan fiction. So
Mm-hmm.
Kaiji has a smart protagonist, right? It's not just
it
luck.
has a. I wouldn't say smart. I would say cunning and good at survival. Like, when he's motivated, he has a good way to find the loopholes in games and maybe play on people's expectations better than most. But generally speaking, he's not actually that smart.
Mm-hmm.
Just has a good talent for making the most of a situation.
I think you'll like the show. Uh, Aside from that, and all that, and playing the gotcha games and whatnot. Um,
Oh, by the
yeah,
way, Slicer, did you know that Cookie Run Kingdom is a fucking shonen fever dream, and I love it?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. It is a gotcha game that is basically shonen, but all of the characters are cookies, and it is like an eldritch nightmare where all of the characters realize that they are actually destined to be eaten by the people that created them because they're fucking cookies. It's pretty good.
uh, yeah. I've been substitute teaching.
Yeah. Is that
Yeah.
going well?
It's I vastly prefer teaching non-middle schoolers.
Specifically, not middle schoolers. That sounds
It
about right to me.
Okay, look, they're 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 so mean to each other.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
mean. And I'm doing my best to make a positive learning environment, but that's really hard to do when you have them for 50 minutes and then it's the next class.
Middle school is 10 to 14, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to check. We have different systems, so I have no idea what the
Yeah.
actual age range is.
Yeah.
Other than early teen.
But as opposed to like say a 5th grade class where like if I have them for like the day, right?
Mm.
So I can open up with a little bit about myself and form a bit of a connection there, and by the end of the day, I feel like I made a good impact on those kids.
Mm.
It's very hard to do when it's all taught in blocks, so you only have like 50 minutes for this class, 50 minutes for that class, 50 minutes for that class,
Yep. A block of 50 minutes where your only job is to shove a somewhat passable amount of information into their brains for it to leak out later is how that works.
It's worse when you're substitute teaching and then your only thing is get out your Chromebooks, go on
Yep.
Google Classroom,
Yep. Do the thing.
do the thing. I'm already done with a thing. I guess you can just play on your Chromebook. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like the teacher doesn't leave you much with that. It's just like just do your work on your Chromebook, and you're like, okay, I guess I'll just sit and watch these kids on their laptops and make sure they don't kill each other.
You are a babysitter in that circumstance, yes.
I feel like more of a babysitter than when I frickin' teach kindergarten.
Well, then you're technically literally a babysitter because you're looking after the kids. Like, I don't think anyone expects kindergartners to actually learn anything, really.
Oh no,
Socialization
they
at most.
They learn their letters and a bit of how to read.
Hmm.
They do learn a lot, and a lot of the basic concepts that you don't think about, like days of the week, months of the year.
Hmm.
Stuff that seems obvious to us.
Yeah, you would know better. I don't remember most of. I remember it was apparently really weird that I already knew the alphabet when I was in nursery school.
You remember a lot of the stuff you learned in kindergarten. You just don't remember learning it.
Hmm.
That's the thing that just happens.
Yeah. That's literally the only memory I have of nursery school was everyone looking at me funny for knowing things. Was wow.
But yeah, I've been teaching, and I'm gonna be teaching again this week as well. I got another 5th grade class. It's like a half day tomorrow. Maybe pick up a job for Thursday, Friday, and I had my first session playing in a Pathfinder game. So one of my friends wanted to DM Pathfinder, and so I have begun to play a Pathfinder game, and I still am trying to get my grip on the rules of how that tabletop game is supposed to be played.
Yeah, I was gonna say any early thoughts, but it's been one session, so not
It's been one session. I'm playing a summoner. which means I have a summon that is an Eidolon, and that thing. So I basically have 2 character sheets and 2 characters that I control. Bit of a hard place to start for somebody who is you know just starting out in the system, but I thought I'd try it, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's gonna be a bit rough early on, especially because getting HP back in Pathfinder is very different than getting HP back in like 5e, because 5e you just take a long rest and you're all good to go. Pathfinder is not that. It's not that case at all.
No, it's just a rule of thumb. Nothing is simple in Pathfinder.
Yeah,
Nothing is ever simple or straightforward.
like you are out for days if you get heavily injured in a fight, unless you have a healer who can spam heal spells.
Yeah, the biggest and the longest running campaign of Pathfinder I was in lasted for a couple months, and our healer grew so arrogant, so unbelievably arrogant, because the importance of healing spells was so massively high.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, our party is we have a cleric, which is good, and I think we have like a fighter and a wizard. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. The only problem is all of us are playing quiet characters, and one of us literally cannot join voice chat, and so is muted and just typing in chat. So it's the quietest D&D game.
Interesting.
And so there's just moments from where like nobody is talking, and it's just dead silence.
That's so bizarre to me.
Well, one person can't talk, one person is naturally quiet, and then the 2 other people are playing quiet characters. Because I never get to play a quiet character typically. Normally I play somebody who's very loud and who talks a lot. So like, oh yeah, no. For this character, I imagine them being, much more quiet. They don't have a lot of experience with people, and then everybody decides to make quiet characters.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm like, well, I guess I have to do the talking.
This sort of relates to a conversation I've had a couple times with another veteran player and DM. In that, when people make low intelligence characters, they tend to go straight mindless, stupid, rah or whatever, or they make a character that straight up can't talk for some reason, and they accidentally make a character that just is not fun to play because you can't engage with anything. Is that an issue any of you guys are running into, or is everyone pretty much enjoying what they made?
I enjoy what I made. I just wish that the others would talk.
That's fair. Yeah.
Because it is hard when you're trying to get a conversation going about what we should do or where we should go and how we should do things, and everybody is silent.
Yeah, this feels like a situation where it might have been worthwhile to do a little coordinating with character creation.
I think it'll be better next session. But
now that everyone's realized the problem, presumably.
Yeah, I think it'll be better next session. But we'll see how it goes.
I think the only hurdle people have to get over is if they're not going to talk, that's fine, but they still have to explain how their character is reacting to something.
Yes, that's something I brought up in the call after the session. Was like, you guys are quiet, but you can still describe what your character's doing.
Yeah. So once they get over that hurdle of kind of switching to more of a narrative way of controlling their character, then yeah, I think that would work really well.
Well, that's it from me. Other than just watching VTubers, they did Halloween did a whole Among Us thing that was fantastic.
I still got to get caught up on their Minecraft shenanigans. So
Right.
Oh, I just really enjoy the clips of fucking Crony and Mume. They're just fucking great.
Yes, they're fantastic. Mume in general is she's hilarious.
did Zentrea ever explain what happened with her? I know she had a breakdown of some kind, but and I know she's back now, I believe.
Zentrea of V Shoujo. I don't know. I know that Sana from Hololive had to take a break because her dog passed away.
That's sad, but understandable.
Mm-hmm. So, Slicer, you?
Pretty good. Saw some movies recently. I rewatched Stan Helsing, which was entertaining in its own way. The scary movie series, which that is a part of, despite not being named blank movie, have not aged super well in most capacities.
No, the scary movie franchise is it's all referential and based in the times that it came out.
It gets worse as the series goes along, as they just stop referencing what the movie's about. Like the hero movie barely references heroes, kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And just defaults to crass or disgusting or nudity.
You know what? I remember the Scary Movie series being like the big horror parody pastiche thing originally. I really enjoyed the other one that people don't really talk about as much, called Shriek. Guess which one that's parodying? That was a pretty good film, which was actually a film and not just, hey, wouldn't it be funny if this happened during this pivotal moment of other horror films, which is what most of Scary Movie tends to be. Or was in the first one. And then it just started being Robot Chicken, but with live action.
I was going to say an endless series of Family Guy cutaway gags, but that works too. Or James Wood going, "Ooh, here's a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy." Except for its references.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Let's see. I also saw Cooties, which was the children's zombies movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cooties, not the other one. Yep. I immediately thought of the other one. I was like, what the fuck? Why? Good for you not watching the other one. Anyway.
I mean, I have to see what the big deal is about, but yeah. Yeah.
Judging you just a little bit. But all right.
But right. When that movie first came, Cooties is like a couple years old now. I tried to watch it at first, and my internet decided to shit out on me, so I just never actually went back to watch it. So I'm happy I was able to see it again in its entirety instead of just the first 30 seconds of it. Pretty good, honestly. They had Elijah Wood as the main character, which was so weird.
Is it animated?
No. It's just a live-action zombie movie with children, with Elijah Wood as the main role.
As a child?
No, as he's the new substitute teacher that shows up, and then shit goes down.
Okay.
Mood.
Yeah. You should probably see this movie.
What's it called again?
Cooties. Cooties.
Key. That was the first letter. Key.
Yep. Key. That was good. I was actually really happy that movie was a solid one instead of just like absolute garbage, because I really could not remember anything about it aside from that I couldn't get it to work right. this happened a while ago, but it's been a while since I've actually been on an episode. But I went for a physical therapy appointment, and it turned into more of an actual therapy appointment, as my physical therapist is like, "Hey, you need to be nicer to yourself. So I need you to do 2 things and then report back to me. That's your homework. You need to do 2 things that are nice for yourself." So I got the Master Chief Collection, and I'm replaying the Halo series because I enjoy Halo. So playing through it on normal, just having a nice time. So that's nice. It's been fun. I've only gotten like halfway through Halo 1 so far, but I mean, it took a long time to download the game. So, yeah. Master Chief Collection is 112 gigs. And then it has a 100 gig patch. So, oh well. Took a while. And I'm trying to get more sleep too. I have an actual bedtime that ensures that I get at least 6 hours of sleep. I haven't been 100% consistent, but I'm getting more sleep than I was before, so that's cool. What was the other thing? Oh, right. I meant to bring up actually the friend I was talking about with the aggressive characters for D&D. He last week he played a character who Zero, have you seen Xandria Unlimited?
I have not. No.
Ah, okay. So Matt Mercer actually plays a character in that one, and he has, I think it's low intelligence and slightly high wisdom, and so the way he chose to play this character is like, it's really good in that his character isn't stupid. He'll get an idea. It might be wrong, but he will get that idea and he will stick to it in a very unique way. And I'm probably describing it badly, but he does it very well and very uniquely.
Yeah.
So that kind of planted the seed of an idea for my friend to play his low charisma character, 8 charisma, as someone who is boisterous and just has no social awareness. He's just a very loud barbarian who's very happy and wants everyone to be happy. And I think it turned out really well, honestly. It's definitely something you want to play at a table you're familiar with, because it can come across as really annoying, which is kind of the point.
Yeah, in the game where I'm playing a quiet character, it's actually I'm playing a high charisma character because summoners use charisma.
Yeah.
However, the reason why that charisma is so high is not because the character is very sociable, but it's because they're terrifying because they have a giant summon right by them.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a way to win most arguments, is just to have a giant floating ghost creature behind you.
It's the specific summon is a psychopomp. It's basically a Grim Reaper wolf with a mask. So,
Okay then.
I describe it like the mask splitting open into rows of teeth, like some sort of horror movie thing.
Ooh, Langolier with their saw blade teeth.
Fucking Christ. Oh. Meatballs with teeth.
Yeah, bad CGI meatballs. Ah, that movie was great.
It was a movie that was.
It exists.
I mean, it might not
That's
exist
something I
anymore. Maybe the
can-
Langoliers got it. It is in the past, technically.
Yeah,
Langoliers jokes that no one will get. You're lucky,
I
audience.
bet.
If you don't get those jokes, feel happy about yourself and the life you've lived.
I barely get that, and I remember the Langoliers. It's just that I only remember the bad CGI saw blade teeth monster spaghetti things.
The thing was,
Oh, man.
for that film, a plane gets sucked into a wormhole kind of thing that has a gap in time, so they end up displaced from regular time by about 15 minutes. I think it would. I don't think it really matters how much it was, but so every person is gone because they're in real time, whereas this plane and the passengers that are on it are all displaced. And what happens in displaced time is the Langoliers come up and eat the past. That
They
was
would
the
just
conceit
be
for this monster.
fuzzy meatballs
Yep.
with teeth.
Giant
Yummy.
flying meatballs with teeth that just sort of clear through all matter like it's fucking, I don't know,
Like it's TGI Fridays.
like just some dude in Minecraft with a diamond pickaxe just going ham on everything, just shoom, right the way through. It's a
Accurate.
weird metaphor,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah, not exactly Stephen King's best work, but it is what it is.
No. It was a marvel to watch. I fully recommend it. Not for a good time, for an interesting.
Yeah, watch that one with friends and take the piss out of it the entire time. Especially the fucking mystery detective character. Like that was just great. Because of course there is a writer on board the plane because it's a Stephen King book. And he's acting like fucking what's the name of the fucking detective? Oh shit. The one that was in like the trench coat and is nice to everyone.
Clouseau?
That wasn't Clouseau, was it? No, the really nice guy that kind of talks like this all the time, and he's just kind of being friendly with everybody, and that guy.
I'm so lost. I have no idea who you mean.
Shit, I'm gonna have to Google famous
That's not
detectives
really
just to find out.
Go for it. That's not my go-to genre, so I'm not very well informed about detectives.
Okay.
Because I am stupid, so I don't figure out the mysteries, and it makes me feel stupid.
Okay, it's giving me all the fucking modern ones. That's fucking great. Yeah, I really wanted to know about fucking Sherlock. Shit, what was the name of it? Someone else talk while I fucking figure this out.
I'm sure there's more things that have happened to me, but I'm drawing a blank on what. Our modem decided to die because we had a massive lightning storm, and it kind of fried a bunch of stuff.
Hey, I had a rainstorm. Hey, it was great. Everything flooded.
Yeah. At least you got some water. Fuck.
You see, the thing about California is, I said this earlier, we need rain that is not a huge flood, and we need it frequently.
Yeah, consistent sprinkles. Yeah, that would be ideal.
If we have just 1 or 2 days of like huge amounts of water dumping, the reservoirs will flood, and we lose water.
Yeah, it doesn't really sink into the ground. It just slides over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of a bit of the issue we have here is that plants can't really thrive when it's just occasional giant showers. We really need constant sprinkles, really.
Columbo.
But who?
The detective. Nice guy. This fucking just... Yeah, that was who it was. Columbo. Fuck. That would have really bothered me. I'm sorry, I completely derailed everything with that, but fucking hell.
You're good. I mean, I was vamping and kind of half moving on to the next thing for that. So go for it. Yeah. I'm not familiar with that detective, but
feel bad about yourself.
That's understandable. I shall
Don't feel bad about yourself. You talked about like freaking therapy stuff. That was a joke. That was 100% a joke.
I'm aware. The mystery genre is one that I'm not well versed in, so I'm sure there's plenty of good things that I've missed out on because I just haven't really given it a chance.
Columbo was a detective everyone liked because he was a nice guy. Like that was how he solved cases, was just being kind of nice and affable. Just asking one more question before I go, kind of thing.
Ah,
yeah,
gotcha. Well, that's fair.
His actor passed away. He was very sad.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
At least left a good legacy, I assume.
Yeah. Everyone loves Columbo. I feel bad for forgetting Columbo. Like, legitimately bad.
You can't think of everything at every time. Things slip eventually. But right, so lightning hit the ground outside my house. That was the thing that made it different. Was most lightning starts at the ground and goes up. This was one of those lightning storms that is in fact the opposite of that, and it's super dangerous because of it. This is the kind of lightning that actually kills people. So it fried our line for the internet, and so it just barely worked. Like, I mean, I could load maybe one page every 20 minutes. Like, it was in technically enough that our ISP decided to bill us for the full month, but not really usable in any functional sense. So we got a new modem shipped to us. Took a little while. I long since ran out of data by the time it got to us. It sucked. Said hotspot out of my phone just to use the internet. And so we got it, we set it up. And most of our devices are kind of, they're hybrid models in that they connect to 2.4G, I believe it's called, and 5G. But it doesn't really connect to 5G super well because most of our devices are a little older, including my laptop, which I'm genuinely surprised I haven't dropped another call for just a couple minutes at a time. It will occasionally just straight up disconnect from the internet with no warning. So like anytime I'm reading a story, by the time I have to hit the next chapter, I have to reconnect my internet manually because it is disconnected. Yeah, it's annoying.
Any chance of just like running 1,000 Cat5 cables all around the house?
No, not really. I'm probably better off actually getting a wireless 5G card, like USB insertable card, and just relying on that instead of the Wi-Fi card in my laptop, which is what I plan to do now that I have properly researched my laptop and know that I do in fact have a 3.0 USB. Because that was the problem. You need a 3.0 USB to have a 5G wireless card, because like a 2G capable 5G wireless card or 2.0, whatever, would be a weird Frankenstein device. So it would be a little harder to find. So hopefully I can order that and it will fix the problem and my laptop will be fully functional again at all times. And I believe that is it. I don't think I've done anything else new. I saw Squid Game. I saw Midnight Mass, which is a interesting show, and I fully recommend it. There's not much I can say about it without spoiling things, but like, dude goes back to live on his island where there's about 100 people making a fishing community that is slowly dying out because it's a fishing community in the modern world where oil spills are common. And it's
gigantic,
hyper
fishing industries already exist. And such.
Yes, yeah, there's that too. And so the entire place is hyper religious, and they get a new pastor, and he's not quite right, and then things kind of devolve from there.
Cult.
And the town
You're not
is called
wrong.
Riverdale.
God, Riverdale. I'm so glad I didn't watch that show. I watched a couple episodes here and there, and I called it good. That was fine.
Is the pastor wearing a hat that says "Women fear me, fish love me"?
I wish. That would be fucking hilarious. I wish more characters were wearing hats like that. They're all gung-ho fishers, but none of them do that. I don't think I even saw any like goulash overalls.
Oh.
I think I said that word wrong. The like rubber overalls that people wear for fly fishing.
Do you say goulash? Is that food?
Are you referring to galoshes?
That, thank you, yes.
Goulash are kind of
But
soup
the
or
overall
something?
thing is I think so, yeah. They're very similar words, okay? I don't use either of those in everyday language.
Yep, that is a soup.
They don't wear soup overalls either. So
He bought them
Neither
at
of
the
those
soup
things make
store.
an appearance. Actually, I'm curious, where do they get their supplies? I think they have a convenience store. Oh, right, they do. They have a convenience store that is also the sheriff's office because it's a tiny town. Oh, it reminds me of where I live, which is that was entertaining. So yeah, Midnight Mass. It's surprisingly good, although it gets real rambly near the end. Oh man, just monologues.
Well, that happens now. A lot of people inspired by Tarantino, I guess,
Yeah,
nowadays, because there are a lot of shows and films that really love to have their monologues.
I just took a bullet and I had my neck slashed open, but here's my entire motivation and my philosophy at life. Uh,
Hey, Loki, here's the last episode, which is like 30 minutes of a dude giving exposition to two people, all three of them just sitting in a fucking room.
yeah,
God damn. Was a monologue where he was eating the entire time. God fucking damn that show.
all right, he was. He was eating an apple.
The entire
Oh
goddamn
man,
time.
I guess I hadn't really noticed that. I'm so used to it.
Assholes talking while they're eating.
Yeah. I mean, most of my social life these days is at lunch period at work, so
That's fair.
yeah.
I don't like it when people talk with their mouths full. It bothers me.
Not a fan of it. You're also around a bunch of children who don't know how to like shield their mouth,
Hmm.
I assume.
Hmm.
Swallow first,
Yeah.
then you may talk.
How how often do you deal with choking children? Not you
Yeah.
choking them, although I'm sure you fantasize, but like choking on children.
Whoa. I've never had to deal with a choking child. Um, it doesn't usually happen at all.
That's good.
I presume you do have like first aid and like teacher training and
I'm
stuff.
I'm CPR trained.
Yeah.
Which with CPR you don't actually put your mouth on the
No.
person.
No. Just
So
chest compressions.
yeah. So like, I am trained in case like something happens, but I never really have to deal with situations like that.
Speaking of Marvel, as we were about 5 minutes ago, did we ever actually talk about the finale of What If?
Still need to watch that.
I I forget if I mentioned it here somewhere else that's also talking about it. I had been awake for 48 hours straight when I watched it, so I remember every other minute of it for the first half, and then the last half is a blur of nothing as I was steadily passing out.
In fairness, it was
So
kind
I
of
technically
narratively
have
thin,
not seen.
So
Ah,
even being in and out of consciousness for every minute or so, you probably still got the gist of the whole thing. Probably.
oh my god, I'm blanking on names. The robot, Ultron, evil Ultron, breaking
Yeah,
through dimensions.
Zero
And,
hasn't watched it yet.
oh,
Remember.
is that
I you can talk about spoilers. I don't care. I'm not going to go back and watch it.
There's
really?
not really much to spoil either, to be perfectly honest.
I thought about it, and it's just like I have felt no motivation to go and continue watching it. So go ahead.
That's fair. I
Uh,
assume it's. I mean, I can't remember the ending. Obviously, I assume it's self-contained. Like they stopped the bad guy.
pretty much. I remember it pulled in people from all of the different universes and also a Gamora that isn't in the show because her whole thing was cut from the season. And they fight evil Ultron. And they win. Kind of. I forget quite what it was, but oh yeah, it was fucking evil Ultron and also evil Killmonger. Spoilers, obviously, everyone, run away. But it's not a fucking big deal. Killmonger gets the Infinity Stones, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be even more powerful, because that's his whole thing in this season. And he fights with Ultron, Super Ultron, and then Strange traps them in a bubble of a contained universe, and he is going to watch over them for the rest of eternity while they struggle in a conflict that they now can't escape. And then the Watcher goes back to doing what it does. And that's pretty much it. Oh, and Soul Survivor Black Widow gets put in another universe where everyone isn't dead yet.
Cool.
Yay. Like I say, it's really fucking narratively thin. It was really cool to watch. That's the only reason I would actually say, hey, maybe watch this, is because the animation's fucking gorgeous. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, that's always been the appeal of the What If series, of just seeing it.
Yeah. So, that pretty much sums up What If in general, yeah. Just a thing that's cool to look at. With little dribs and drabs of almost interesting plots that they never decide to resolve. Yeah. Like, all of the scenes of all of those alternate reality characters getting pulled in are taken from after the rest of that story that might have been interesting has happened. So you have the episodes just dedicated to those universes, and they end before the really interesting stuff happens. And then the interesting stuff happens off screen, and then it goes to them being pulled out of those universes. Let's call it frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, that's well. I might go actually then, just to see how it's animated. But
Yeah.
I'm not exactly. I already have a lot of things I need to watch.
That's understandable. Episodes are what? Are they half an hour or like 45 minutes?
About 20 minutes or so.
I forget. Yeah.
Like 20 minutes
You
or
can
so,
binge
and
watch
then
the
about
series.
8 minutes of credits.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So yeah, you can probably binge watch a series in like 3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah, I also borrowed the Aragon books from my friend Don because I want to reread them. So I got that I'm going to be looking at.
I have
Cool.
heard those are not great to read once an adult. I have heard.
Well, we will see. I'm very curious to see how I react.
Yeah, I guess that's everything from everybody. How long have we been recording? A long fucking time. Holy shit. Yeah, this is clocking in at 2 hours and 10 minutes so far.
Yeah, that's some good. That's a good classic podcast length.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, how much of that was me gushing about how stupid and great Cookie Run Kingdom is, how fucking awful
You can
time
time
I
it
had
out.
with PayPal and everything. Fucking god.
You can time it out later.
This is what happens when Casey has shit to bitch about.
Let's close it out. I really have to go to the bathroom.
Me too. But here's the thing. How long has it been since we recorded an episode? Have we done the Patreon this month?
Yes, we did it. We did we recorded on the 8th.
I can practically hear your leg shaking, dude.
Yes. I need to go to the bathroom. I've been sitting here quietly for a while, and
Yeah.
I wasn't talking for a bit because I was just trying to concentrate on not peeing myself. So
Yep.
please,
My leg is
I need to go
bouncing
pee.
too, but now that I know that you're suffering alongside of me, I kind of just want to keep this going.
Okay, I'm leaving. Bye.
Discord link in the description, also Patreon link in the description and such. If you feel like it, we would appreciate it. It's kind of nice. Got to keep the plumbing going so that have running water and just like nice rushing.
You are only torturing yourself at this point. It's 0 left.
Oh, damn it! Bye, everybody.
See you guys.